Good morning, family. Welcome to CHUNCHINWON Morning Devotion. Today is Tuesday, February 6th. Thank you for being here. Let's welcome our beloved true parents and heavenly parent. 천지인 참 부모님께 경배. 바로. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 선은 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀극 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Mimi-san. Mimi-san, could you please pray for us today?
Sure.
Thank you.
Dearest Heavenly Parent, true parent birthday is very soon, and today's the day of unsealed new Heavenly Calendar, new the 8 days, 1 week started. Heavenly Parent, and we are in 40 days special condition days we are having with true parent and all brothers and sisters in America and the world. Heavenly Parent, we really want to unite with true mother. She said she found one small needle in the sound in storm weather, and that is you, she said, and bless the children and bless the family and brothers and sisters who are unite with true mother. Heavenly Parent, true parent, Thank you so much. You have been watching us, loving us, embracing us, forgave us. Oh, that Heavenly Parent, we a new start today, and the 40 days is 9 days, 9 days the left. We really redetermine, and we really want to unite with True Mother, and we want to support her, and we really want to bring joy to Heavenly Parent and True Father in the spiritual world. And as 효진님, 훈진님, 혜진님, 연진님, 태모님, and all blessed children in the spiritual world really want us who are in the physical world really want us to unite with the True Mother and bring this the world to go back to Heavenly Parent. Heavenly Parent, please bless each brothers and sister, and please having us with your joy for this morning devotion centering on Chonshin Harem. I offer this with brothers and sisters a prayer through the name of Haruhiko Mimako Yukawa as blessed central family. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Mimi-san. Thank you. God bless you. Okay, family, now it's time for our 100K reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our True Mother's Memoir, and we're up to episode 24. Pastor Miha.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Mimi-san, for your wonderful prayer. So again, we're looking for a volunteer this morning. Otherwise, and Kathleen will be our reader.
I can read.
Green, how's your connection?
I can read.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Queen's Community. Let's see.
Mother of Peace. Chapter 4, God's light shines upon a path of thorns. In 1975, we held mission conferences in Japan, the United States, and Germany, from which we selected young missionaries and dispatched them to some 95 new nations, in addition to the more than 30 already with active missions. There were many reasons to delay or slow down our evangelical outreach, but we could feel God's urgency and pressed forward. I recall my husband's words, shared late one evening. There will always be reasons that we cannot send them, but if we do not send them now, we will never send them. There will never be a moment without difficulty. Let us make a firm decision when things seem the most difficult. That 1975 cohort of faithful men and women represented not one nation, but 3: Japan, the United States, and Germany, countries that were enemies during the Second World War. We sent them in groups of 3, 1 Japanese, 1 American, and 1 German or Austrian. Their unity with each other was the foundation for outreach and service that bore great fruit over the decades. Unlike many Christian missionaries sent out from the United States and Europe, our international missionaries did not receive continuous financial support from the sending church. They left with enough money to survive for a few weeks, a suitcase of clothes, and a divine principle book. Instead of living in nice buildings or homes, they stayed in tiny rooms or huts. They had to improvise mission plans and work together despite having different cultural backgrounds and speaking different languages. Faced with so many unknowns, those who were leaving and those who were sending both had to maintain a brave face, knowing each missionary was stepping into an unpredictable future. Our missionaries committed to a 5-year tenure, but more than a few who went to Africa and the Middle East remained for 20 years and more. Once or twice a year, if they could, they would attend a World Mission Conference at our East Garden facility in New York. One young missionary arriving at one such conference burst into tears upon seeing my husband and me. It was her first time meeting us. Hearts that wanted to weep in joy and sadness. How could there be anything but that? The person who wanted to weep the most was me. But I knew if I did so, the happy occasion would turn into an ocean of tears. Therefore, with the heart of a strong mother, I embraced that young woman instead. The next day, I took all the missionaries out and bought them blouses and scarves or dress shirts and neckties. This looks good on you, I would say to each of them, adding, you have worked very hard. But together with my sincere consolation, I would ask them to be strong and press harder. If you sacrifice a little more on the way of the will, a peaceful world will come about in our lifetime. Near the close of these conferences, the missionaries would pledge their new resolve in front of God's will and depart again to the front line of His dispensation. My heart of loving admiration for our leaders and tribal messiahs who have left their homeland for the sake of humanity remains unchanged to this day. Whenever we sent missionaries to unfamiliar lands, my husband and I held on to heaven and prayed earnestly for each one of them. In the 1970s and 1980s, the unification movement faced intense opposition the world over. An unknown party even sent a bomb threat to our church's Belvedere Training Center in Tarrytown, New York. But the opposition was particularly intense in communist bloc countries due to our public speeches, rallies, and educational programs to defeat Marxism-Leninism. We especially prayed for our missionaries who went into communist countries, as we knew that there was a possibility of martyrdom. To our sorrow, that concern became a reality. In these Iron Curtain countries, surveillance, deportation, shadowing, and terror were our missionaries' everyday experiences. In 1973, in Czechoslovakia, the police arrested most of the 4 members. Almost 30 young people received prison sentences of up to nearly 5 years. Others were released but endured ongoing repression. In 1976 in France, unidentified assailants bombed our Villa Oblate church in Paris, injuring 2 members. Our French members marched from the Eiffel Tower to the Trocadero, calling for religious liberty and winning the sympathy of many. Finally, when it was revealed that communists were involved in bombing, prominent leaders, including U.S. congressional members, publicly condemned the attack on religion. Even worse tragedies occurred. In the flower of her youth, at the age of 24, Marie Zivnya, one of the most faithful members of Czechoslovakia, died in a cold Bratislava jail cell. In December 1980, in Tanzania, Japanese missionary Masaki Sasamoto was shot and killed, also giving his life as a martyr. Numerous missionaries in the United States and other countries lost their lives while on fundraising drives or in the course of outreach activities. Despite such tragedies, the missionaries continued their work. In the 1980s, European missionaries worked strategically behind the Iron Curtain, called their project Mission Butterfly. The butterfly missionaries cautiously witnessed despite the constant danger of being tracked by the secret police and arrested, forced to leave the country, or worse. In 1987, my husband and I quietly gathered the butterfly missionaries at our East Garden residence. We listened to their moving stories late into the night. There was no stopping the flow of tears. The missionaries shared from deep within their hearts. stories that they had been unable to tell even their parents, brothers, and sisters. Hearing their stories, we felt deeply concerned about their harsh circumstances. Because these missionaries were viewed as enemies of the state, staying in their mission country was filled with risks, but this only intensified their prayers and faith in God. As one missionary said to us, "I don't know when or where I will run into some kind of danger. I only know that my life is being directly supervised through God's revelation. If there is a dangerous situation, God appears in my dream, guides me along the path I should go." As they departed to their posts, putting our short meeting behind, I hugged them one by one and sent them off, waving until they were out of sight, thinking that these young, pure-hearted missionaries were acting out of their deepest passion for God and true parents, bound for lands more brutal than battlefields, without as much as a promise as to when we would meet again. My heart ached and my eyes filled with tears. That our missionaries were persecuted for nothing other than faith in true parents was truly a sorrowful reality of history, and the determination to advance was truly a glory of history. Chosen members went to every corner of the globe. Despite suffering and danger, they leapt into many kinds of organizing service projects, establishing schools, providing vocational training, cultivating the wilderness, building factories, houses, and communities, and raising the necessary funds by their own wits and heaven's assistance. Each time I saw missionaries off to cross unfamiliar seas and continents, the limitation of what I could do. I encourage them by saying that when our dreams are realized, God will give us all the greatest blessings. Seeing how those words strengthened their resolve, I realized that spiritual encouragement was stronger support than any physical provisions. In the early stages of the movement, our members were the most pitiful of people, chased and cornered, thrown out of their houses on snowy nights, praying in tears against the outer walls of their own home, deported from unfamiliar lands, jailed, shot at, and even killed while out fundraising. They had to find their way in the desert, nothing but starlight in the night sky to guide them. These faithful souls pushed their way through dark forests alone to share God's word. Holding our sorrows deep inside, we kept our faith, disseminated our beliefs. Today, the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification serves in more than 190 nations, and this activism, peace, and true family life grew from the seeds of a missionary sacrificial love.
Gotcha. Thank you, Takeyoshi. You're muted, Pastor Mahan.
Yes, thank you, Takayoshi, for your reading. This time, I'd like to invite anyone to share a reflection, comment, question, anything. And or a key point, even a key word or section.
Yes.
Yes, Reverend Green.
Yeah. Good morning, brothers and sisters.
Good morning.
You know, when I
Sorry, Reverend Green, you're totally frozen there.
Real shame.
I know.
Like,
Technology. When I was a young member and I was living at 43rd Street, 1977, there was some butterfly missionaries staying there. And I heard about the butterfly missionaries, but it was all, top secret. So I was really curious, who are these people? I saw these members and I was really, really curious about them, but we weren't allowed, to know any information about only that they were butterfly missionaries. And I just thought, wow, what is that? Reverend Green, I'm sorry, but you got frozen. We didn't hear you. And now you're muted.
And I think he needs to turn off his video. Not enough bandwidth.
Yeah, Reverend Green, so you're gonna speak after me then. Yeah, right. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I really, when we go through this autobiography, through mother's autobiography, we come to a much deeper understanding of, how the church was even run, in the past, and we can say under the leadership of True Father. But we can come to a much deeper understanding that it was a joint leadership, like True Father and True Mother. And True Mother is saying that we sent the missionaries. It's like, of course, she was really the center. She was in the center of the decision making, of the sending of the missionaries. And this, we can come to a deeper understanding of that is in the way that right after the holy wedding, True Mother said that she used to sit with True Father, and sometimes they would spend hours and hours talking about the future of the church and strategies and everything that they had to sit down and really talk about it together. So True Father was like the spokesperson of the group. Yeah. But it does not mean that she was really the sole, the leader, of the group. But he was the spokesperson, which is something really normal. And in addition to them being, or True Mother being at the center of the decision making in sending the missionaries and even the running of the church, True Mother also had like this motherly heart, that motherly approach to the missionaries, taking them out, buying stuff for them. So her goal was not, okay, you got to reach 20 members or 30 members or this. Her goal was not to just give a goal, a set goal, but she would just encourage missionaries to be with this heart of mother, with this very soft heart, and buying stuff for them, encouraging them to really see the bigger picture, and that is really the role of True Mother. So that is why I say that True Mother was really, since the holy wedding, she has been really the leader of the church, like the when True Father said the co-founder. This is how we can come to a better understanding of this. So it's not a matter of, okay, True Father was the leader. Now when True Father passed away, now True Mother takes the leadership. It's not a matter of that. There were two co-leaders, like two leaders working hand in hand equally, but one was simply the spokesperson, and even sometimes True Mother used to speak to. Yes. So this is something we can really better understand now. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Dawson. I totally agree. Mother is a continuation of True Parents' providence, and this I always understood. Mother, when Jesus left, Holy Spirit came. Father left, Mother's in charge. I mean, it continued. It just doesn't have to look exactly the same as it was. Father had a lot to do while he was still alive. He had to plant the masculine and aspect of God into the world. I think, I can understand why Father would take the microphone a lot, because he didn't have as much time as True Mother did. Not because he was better than Mother, or Mother was, lesser than True Father, but because Father's time was short. And now Mother can reveal the women's era, like Father would talk about in his last public speech. It's like, talk about the women's era, the women's era. It means listen to Mother, because I'm not going to be here forever. And mother has a great responsibility to introduce the other half of God to the world. So it's I totally agree. Reverend Green, are you?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, the people of God have always had to go through, very difficult episodes in their life of faith. And when I came to America, I myself, even though I was not, sent for, but yet I felt that I was called to America to support the work of Reverend and Mrs. Moon, true parents. And so when the providence of the home church began with Reverend Wampil Kim, I was very privileged to be seated in the same environment with luminaries such as Father's first disciple, Reverend Wampil Kim. They were promoting the home church providence. And, I myself was very much keen in my listening to his guidance, because I really wanted to do very well while I was here. I came from a small hometown in Jamaica, and I always felt myself as a representative of my country. So even though I was an individual, in my consciousness, I felt I was here representing Jamaica. And so with that kind of heart, the heart of a patriot to my nation, I went out into the home church area. And I began my home church activities by starting a newspaper route with the News World and the Noticias del Mundo, one paper in English and the other in Spanish. So the area in which I worked, it's a multicultural area, and people of different kinds were living there, but the two primary languages spoken were English and Spanish. And I developed a route in an area of Harlem that was in 141st Street and Riverside Drive, in that area. And I remember while I was distributing my complimentary copies of the News World, there was one guy who said to me, "Now listen, please do not put any of your newspaper on my doorknob. I don't want it." But the following day, seemingly I had forgotten about him, and I came to his door to put my newspaper there, and the door flew open, and this guy had a great knife in his hand, almost like a sword, and he was charging at me, Then there was no place for me to go, so I simply said, "In the name of true parents, you put that down." And the man just turned around, ran into his house, and slammed the door. So the reason why I mentioned this is that, I went to their facilities, cleaning their buildings and, offering them newspaper and offering my service, to the people there. And I almost lost my life, but I didn't run away. I went back because Father says, this is your hometown. You cannot abandon they will try to get you out, but you should not allow that to happen. There's another man, Mr. Moon, who actually, a black man who actually attacked me one time in my home church area. And interestingly, all the people in the building came to my refuge. They say, Mr. Moon, why don't you leave the paper boy alone? And so I felt that I had won a victory by having the people coming to my side. But, you know, these people who came up against me in the home church areas, I eventually won over them and became good friends of theirs. So, you know, when I listened to the missionaries and how some people lost their life, I realized that I too could have lost my life. But God protected me. And so here I am today, being able to, you know, to share my reflections on today's reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, a first-hand account of missionary work. And, you know, I think about it in as challenging and life-threatening as this work has been. It's also the greatest pride, I would imagine, to take on God's point of view, God's love for all of his children. And even at the risk of one's life. I think that's the greatest demonstration of faith. And it can be very envious, you know, for all those who have not experienced that. Yeah. And God can trust such a person. And, you know, when we look at the grand scheme of things, that man, he, with the knife, the sword, it was, you know, it was God's love at his door. That despite his lack of understanding, he'll never forget that, I'm sure. Yeah. Unforgettable experiences. Is that Dr. Stewart? Is that you wanting to share? And Therese? Maybe not. Well, I want to close with my highlight for today. Okay. If you sacrifice a little more on the way of the will, a peaceful world will come about in our time. When I read this, I reflect on the path of our first generation. Remember, people would say, in 3 years, we'll have the kingdom of heaven. There's always like 3 years or something. And, you know, if you look around and with some kind of, what do you call it, anecdotal evidence to seeing all of your compadres working together and wow, we're growing and growing, you know, at this rate, yes, we will. Everyone will become members of the Unification Church, you know. And that didn't happen. And so, I mean, it's easy to feel like it was a lie. And then you start to kind of, if that wasn't true, then maybe you question everything else. And even if you believe in the divine principle, maybe the church itself is not the best vehicle to deliver that message. Or maybe just there's too much dysfunction to believe in anything. Well, I think Mother's correct. Sacrifice, you know, notice that she said sacrifice a little bit more. I don't think she said sacrifice everything and throw your whole self at every cause that comes up. But sacrifice a little bit more. And, you know, and if you sacrifice a little bit more every day, miracles can happen. And you can have everything, your wildest dreams come true, and the providence. And those sacrifices, those little sacrifices that you make every day will pile up to treasure. I preached on this last Sunday about tithing, and I say, don't give the church any more than 10%. Of course, there's special causes and things. You're welcome to donate to those things, but that's your choice. That's like out of your joy, not out of obligation or duty. But just give a little bit consistently, because that is what blesses all of that you have, and not just your money, but your time and your heart and your spirit and your energy and your passion. Give a little bit to God every day, and then everything else, all of the gifts that God has given you inherently in your identity will come out. And I think, and you need to. It's not like, oh, it's optional. Oh, that's Pastor Milhan's great. Let him do all the talking. Like, no. It's a crime. God has gifted you with something that can change the world, and I'm just waiting for you to do it, so that you can inspire me and give me rebirth. Mother gives rebirth, yes, but we all do too. When we decide to step up and really claim my birthright, that's when things really change, and we can create a sustainable future for our children and great-grandchildren. So sacrifice a little bit more every day, and during our lifetime, we will see something amazing. And of course, I'm preaching to the choir right now, but you know what I mean. Let's help others. How do you do that? Well, start with yourself. Yes, you can invite them to join morning devotion. That's good. But to start your own morning devotion, to start your own tribe, really expand outreach, like Reverend Green's talking about, maybe having some epic experiences doing outreach. That's real living. And so thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Thank you, everyone, for your sharing. Thank you, Takayoshi. Thank you, Mimi-san. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Today is day 31 of our 40-day period of devotion to usher a victorious entrance into Cheonwon-gun in the Cheonil Sanctum, and for True Parents' birthday. 31. Almost there. Do we have any prayer requests? Okay, then let's begin our 7 minutes resonance prayer with 3 Abaji Omanis.
Cheonwon Residence Prayer, Shijak, Abaji, Omani, Abaji, Omani, Abaji, Omani.
Let's pray.
Together.
For the time for allowing for the
This morning, Father, we come to rectify our marriage in a physical environment.
Parent, true parents, thank you so much for this wonderful morning. New day.
Good morning, Heavenly Parent. Good morning, today's special devotional period.
Offering their devotion to you.
Young and praying for the general and for the safety of parental family.
Word that touch your heart.
especially young people,
Discrimination and hope.
with the unification of
You
North and
realize
South
they
Korea
believe your
and the
kingdom has entered, Father.
I to overcome our pride and
They
shame and walk
come
into
from
your
all
light,
parts of
heavenly
the world,
burden,
all believe
return
by
to the
you.
good, pregnancy and
From
liberation
province
from
to the western world.
current pregnancy with the hard spiritual children.
The symbol
Japan, New York, Hotel, Mayor, Eric,
dear God, that you contain hope, to receive joy,
no so that Julie and Reverend Leslie
on the Lord's heart. The person of all human kind. Grateful for that a contemporary of our true father and our true mother. Our only desire is to fulfill responsibility I want to give you thanks this morning that we're alive. Life.
nobody gave us. We're so grateful that nobody gave us a shot.
Your word. Empowers us.
God, brothers and
Do a little bit for mother.
every parent to pray that we can love each other.
Pray today that you can specifically that you would like for me to do in this day. Whatever that task is, father and mother, I'm determined to accomplish it.
Family on earth.
Forgive us for our complacency. Realize your desire in our lives. God, that the spirit of God can take over and responsibility for that has been taken from Adam. All the members of my family. Especially gentlemen that she has lectured, the Westerners, they've inducted and Martha's mother, pray this morning for the president above. Into war, all joy can come to us. Resolve issues. The time is bringing forward be able to find and ourselves.
No sound.
Rokshira doi go Im hyang hari pyan tan chi kashir churi surya Im hyang hari pyan tan chi Kashi Churi Surya.
Chanji Champomanamge Kyangbe. Paro. And we'll have 3 cheers of Okman Say.
Changui Hab Shin Hana Pumonim. Ogman Say. Chunjin Champamonim. Ogman Say. Victory for the Chunshima residents prayer. Ogman Say.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have any announcements?
Well, maybe I can reveal to everyone, but we're going to start at any time a new offer. So for anyone who purchases a silver wish paper, which is $50, you will get 1 free coaching session with Reverend Josh. Okay. And then if you get a gold paper, you get 2 free sessions, coaching sessions with Reverend Josh. Okay.
How much is the
of
gold?
this, gold is $100. So I discussed this with Pastor Naokimi and Pastor Justin, and they love the idea. And I've actually mentioned this before because so often we have a wish, that's the foundation of faith, but we're missing the substance. We need real accountability. And even if your coaching session isn't perfectly related to your wish, it's very important for you to build a foundation for heaven to work with you. And I can't find anything better than coaching to keep you accountable to your goals and your purpose, milestone 2. So now, in his words, he said, brilliant idea. And so
my hope is that even Chongpyong itself will start to do this. Really help people to transform their lives while we're alive. Wishing is great, heaven's power, but we also need to do our 5%, which we need help with. So I'm very excited about this initiative, and there's still some wish papers left here for those who'd like to take advantage of that.
Reverend Green, it just asked how the wish papers being taken care of.
So after we have enough wish papers here, we mail them to Las Vegas, and then they're processed there. I think they have to burn them in a special ceremony, so they take care of all of that there. But does that answer your question?
Reverend Green? He just put that in the chat. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure my chat. Okay. All right. They will have something written that we'll mail out to everybody, something written now about that. But
Thank you for answering the question. So do you have to have a lot before it can go, or how many? Or how often do you send it?
We haven't made a schedule yet. There hasn't been so many people buying them right now. So we could do it once a month.
Because the reason why I asked the question, because if people know that, okay, there's a date for the wish papers to go out, then everybody will just want it. But if it's just there, they don't. Yeah, but so that could be another point for people to make effort to do the wish papers. If they know that every month it is going out, then they want to get in their piece.
Right. Some kind of, again, it's about when, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a deadline.
Yeah.
People want to get it in before we ship them out. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure that out today.
Thank you.
I'd like to make mention that all brothers and sisters pray for our moderator, Kathleen Seidel. She's done and has been doing a very great, work, and we really need her. So let's keep her always in our prayers. Thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
True. I second
Pastor
that.
Milhan, with these wish papers, do we write our names? Are these confidential or what?
It's confidential between you and God. Yeah.
So we don't write our names on them or anything like that.
No, you do not. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Of course. It'll be separate, right? So we'll know. You have to report to us that we also that we received the money. So you would have to report to us that you donated. That you got it, but we won't know what you wrote. That's gonna go.
So you just put the money in the envelope and put it there.
Right. The envelope and the wish paper.
No, I know, but the wish paper you put your name and say for wish paper. I'm asking how you report.
I see. You know what? Okay. Sorry, forgive me if I'm still figuring this out. So I see there's a wish paper there. I think the money can go in the envelope with your name on it. The wish paper can be put in separately.
So you put it in the box that is there?
I think we could put it in the box. Hold on, maybe in the basket. It doesn't really fit in here anyway. So perhaps there's I think this makes sense, yeah. So there's a basket here under the altar. So that you can put it in face down in that basket. The money will have this envelopes here. You can put your name on the envelope with your money donation and then put it put that money in the box, the donation box.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense? Okay. So we're
Yeah.
separating, the wish paper goes into a separate bin. That's confidential. And of course, we live here. So if you have a question, just reach out to any of us, call me, or, we'll help you.
That's a good way to get
Especially
people
if
to.
it's their first time.
That's a good way to get people to come there.
Hallelujah.
Poking and prodding. Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, thank you, everybody, for today. Hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.